clear?
Yes, sir. We can see the screen as well as your camera. Sir, shall we start?
Yeah.
So shall I introduce you over my slide or your slide, as you say?
No issue.
All right. I welcome you all to the session 2 of day 2 of this AICT sponsored 1 week online short-term training program on water quality complication, restoration and environmental conservation of existing water bodies, Module 1, uh, on behalf of Civil Engineering Department and IPS Academy Institute of Engineering and Sciences, Indore. Today we have with us Dr. RatnaKumar Mudliar sir, who is the Director of Indian Environmental Consultancy and Research Services, that is located at Nagpur. He is a postgraduate in chemistry and environment, double postgraduate, with qualifications like doctorate, PhD, DIS, IIPM, IOSH, NEBOSH, Quality Council of India, NABET, ZED, and Green Auditor, NAC also. He is the regional director and the chief advisor. So can you please change the slide?
Yeah.
So
I changed it.
it is not changing. It is not changing over here, and I request you to put it on full screen, sir.
Okay. Just a minute.
So he is an approved EIA coordinator and functional area expert by NABET, Quality Council of India, ZED, Quality Council of India as an assessor, and with a lot of qualifications as the he has 16 years of professional expertise in the environmental impact assessment and management consultancy services, with experience in the field of uh, as an environmental manager at CHD power plant, JSW Energy, DNV oil and gas sectors, Sahara Prime City, and he is the former project scientist at NERI, Nagpur. Sir, I cannot see your slides, sir.
Yeah, I just started sharing now. Now is it appear?
No, sir, not here. Yes, sir, now it's visible.
Yeah.
So he's a green building consultant, an auditor for QCI NAC. He performs green audits for the criteria 07. He is an HSE consultant for India, Qatar, Bangladesh, Japan, Thailand, AIT, and UAE. Worked as an environmental professional in government, non-government, and corporate industries with experience in various sectors like power and energy, infrastructure and construction, hydrocarbon, oil and gas, smart cities, sugar distillery, and generation chemicals, dyes, drugs, pharmaceuticals, effluent treatment plants, sewage treatment plants, and water treatment plants, solids, municipal hazardous waste, mining, tourism sectors, highways, port harbors, airports, and an unending list of EIA consultancy projects. We welcome you, sir, on behalf of IPS Academy and Civil Engineering Department, and are privileged to have you with us. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and enlightening us. Um, I request you to start with the presentation, sir.
Uh, yeah. Is Dr. Devanshi, is I'm audible now?
Yes, sir, absolutely clear.
Yeah. And secondly, is slide is getting changing.
Yes, sir, it's changing.
Yeah, there might be some time delay, probably due to the internet, due to the far distance. I'm on site somewhere, right? So there might be a time lag for
Okay,
few
sir.
seconds. Yeah.
Right, sir.
I welcome you, all of you, and I'm really thanks for IPS Academy and its committee members to invite me as a speaker for this. And I'll be also very happy to share very recent and update things which is going on across the globe, specifically in Europe, in America, and other developed nations, which is now tending towards in India also recently. And India is also trying to grasp this water environment reliant circular economy. What is a circular economy? Basically, a circular economy is nothing but what like something which is very much related to give and take relationship, which is continuous process, right? End to end, it is connected from one point to another point. Coming directly to the point, let's first start. Can anyone, they can raise a hand if they know which mountain is this. But and do if anyone know which in which country or state it has like, and in which place. To tell you the truth, this is not a mountain, but this is a heap of a solid waste which was fall down last 2 years back, on which Supreme Court and NGT taken a cognizance in Gazipur, that is near to Gurgaon nearby, and then the some vehicular also got died by getting buried due to the fall of this big heap of the waste, because this is get piled up in last 2, 3, 4 decades, and now we are getting enlightened. Yes, this is there is some issue with our overall process of industrialization and development. So there is a term of industrialization, globalization. What we are going towards is something wrong with it. There is a one say in Sanskrit, dharmo rakshati rakshataha. धर्म की रक्षा करने पर धर्म अपनी भी रक्षा करेगा. तो that is the same is applicable to प्रकृति, the nature. प्रकृति रक्षितः रक्षितः. अगर हम प्रकृति की रक्षा करेंगे तो प्रकृति हमारी रक्षा करेंगे. If we will try to save the environment, we try to nurture, sustain the environment. Environment will in turn help us. So in these terms, we missed that link which was there in India since beginning of the era when the civilization started in India, or I will say Bharat, from the beginning in thousands of years ago. But we missed that something, that element which was inherited in our overall nature, culture and the nation. So based on that, the same thing which is coming back in terms of modern world, a circular economy, which we are going to deal and try to understand in an easy manner. I'm not going to give a very big lecture, or basically I'm trying to just put a thought and an understanding to give and start thinking each individual level whatever this circular economy is, we can adopt or we can use it or we can apply in our day-to-day regular routine, or in industrialization or in process or in operations. And I taken out of that a water component, which is a inseparable, a big denominator for the circular economy, right? So we will be going to go through today what is the circular economy, what are the principles, statutory requirements, legal policies, existing opportunities. What are the opportunities are available for getting this water as a reliant source or a denominator for circular economy? Existing problems, so what are the various problems and its solutions, what we are dealing in current situation, what we are doing at present. So those are the things, and issues in liquid solid waste management, or both the things. Because for example, liquid means water and solid waste, they are a very inseparable material in most of the cases, right? And what are the needs of the innovations, design and technology trends are going on across the globe, and what India is required for, what we are required actually. So coming, why this circular and what is the circular economy stands for? Why does it require? Basically, CE, this is terms common word abbreviation as CE. CE is nothing but a transformative change, what we are looking for. End-to-end process, which is continuous. It is not only a sustainable development is we put it in a certain way and it continue to a certain trending growth. Whereas in circular economy, whatever is we are producing a waste or byproduct, it is get used by the another chain or another supply chain management. So it is a continuous thing. So It is basically a system thinking approach. That is what may be required, at least to adopt in this current era of coming 2030. If we start thinking now, we can adopt this till 2030 and get it implemented completely across the India, and India can become a circular economy till 2030 or 2050 as per the government policy. The transformation of the businesses can also require circular economy. And if we start thinking and projecting about this circular economy, we can generate huge number of opportunities in terms of business, in terms of employment, jobs, as well as it will also generate a huge number of capital, which will going to give not only a physical capital, also natural capital will be get enhanced. Along with that, it will reduce an environmental impact on the other hand. Whereas due to all this process of CE, circular economy, the flow of material will be get balanced and continuous. It will be maintained automatically. So there will not be much issue of generation of waste, handling and management of waste, again the disposal. So that issue, those issues will be get subsided. There are a lot of success stories. I'm not going to go all the success stories from the Europe or America, because they have started on working on this since last almost a decade and a half back. But India has also started thinking and working on it. There are a few very successful stories in India where we are trying to do these things, like we are trying to earn a multi-million rupee means crores of rupees from selling or from wastewater, selling the haircut waste from the farm fields by producing amino acids, producing urea, and we are producing some road kind of material from the waste of mining waste. What are the OB? Overburden if we are generating or mining waste, we are using those, or some plastic waste we are using for road material, and this is generating which is much cheaper and sustainable. So it is a waste for one industry, one sector, but it is very useful for another person, that too a cheaper. So if the chain is completed and the economy is get rotated, it is become, and basically circular economy is a waste can be resold in one word. So there are a number of, there are one very biggest example is Ranki Group. If you know this, this is old data. So people have, this company has a much bigger turnover now, probably 1500 crores turnover, almost like 2-3 years back. So we can just understand, by doing a business of waste, we can generate huge multi-billion rupees in a short span of time of 30 years. So what are the basic principles we need to adopt, on which circular economy, specifically in terms of water, a component of water is based on? The basic, there are three principles we need to think of. The design out waste externalities. Principle 2, second principle, keep resources in use. Third principle, regenerate the natural capital. If we able to follow or continue these three principles continuously, so we can get the circular economy based on water and environment continuously, and we can benefit it out of all this very easily. Hope the slide is getting changed. Devanshi ma'am?
Yes, sir. They are getting changed.
Yeah. The principle 1, design out waste externalities. Why we all need to understand these basic principles, because if I just jump on the practical examples on this of the industries, there might be a lot of confusions. So to avoid that, we should understand basic principles, but I'm not going to go in very much detail, right? So design out waste externalities. So in that case,
sir, sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
So the slide is stuck on the success stories slide.
Okay. Now?
No, sir, still it is on that slide only. Is it changing at your end, sir?
Yeah.
Now change, sir.
Yes, sir, we got it. Now it's coming, sir.
Yeah. design out waste externalities principle 1. The optimize the amount of energy, minerals and chemicals used in operation of waste water systems in concert with the other systems. We need to optimize energy, amount of energy, the mineral required and the chemicals which are going to be used in the operations for water systems. It has to be connected or to be concerned in thought to be in terms of other systems. We need to optimize the consumptive users of water with subbasins in relation to adjacent subbasins. For example, in use in agriculture or evaporative cooling systems, we have to think what are the consumptive methods or we can reduce it in terms of other, right? Where we can replace it or we can make a alternative options for that. What are the measure solutions which can deliver the same outcome without using water? Do we really need a water at that time or not? If we can replace it, it should be good. Principle 2. Keep resources in use. We need to keep resources in use continuously by putting, just a second, resource in within the water systems. So in that case, yeah, sorry. Second principle is keep resources in use. The resource yield within the water system, it has to, whatever it may be, water reuse, energy, minerals or chemicals, those all the resources yields, wherever the water is a resource as a material being used, it has to be optimized, it has to be reduced and it has to be increased at par, not to be exceeded by the given threshold limit, right? Secondly, to optimize the energy or resource extraction, like there are a lot of processes or operations out there in the industries where water is minimum requirement, where water is minimum required and they can be used at the best of their level. So that has to be thought of. Third, the optimize the value generated where water systems connect with other systems such as water plus energy, water plus food. Those are the things have to be thought of, like without water, energy cannot be produced in many cases. Whereas we cannot think of a food without water because any food product is mainly composed of water. The third principle is regenerate the natural capital. Regenerating the natural capital means maximizing the environmental flow by reducing the consumptive non-consumptive uses of water. I will explain you what does it mean by consumptive and non-consumptive uses. Preserve and enhance the natural capital by river restoration, pollution prevention, and ensuring the quality of effluent. We can make this. We can enhance by reducing what? By making river restoration, pollution prevention, ensuring the water quality effluent. Whatever we are discharging into the river water bodies, natural water bodies, prior discharging we need to treat it as at par as per the given standards or as per the natural quality standards. And we need try to reduce the disruption in the natural water systems. So by reducing our human interaction, anthropogenic activities, unnecessarily getting into the process and disturbing the overall natural system. So based on this, I tried to find out what are the which are the cities in India where, so it is a small picture, I tried to put it here, a genesis of cities where water is get related, like water supply cities. We are in today's 2021, almost all major cities and towns we are getting water being supplied or the process of by through tap. Seaward cities, which are almost all major cities, metros, they are being doing through seaward and drained in only in urban towns, whereas in small villages they are still under process of getting development and connected to drains. Whereas there are some sewers, even some cities which have been raised, not only supplying the water, getting the drainage done, but they are also using as a backwaters or they are using as a waterways for transport, as an alternative for the road transport or other fuels. So like there are Banaras, Goa, Kolkata, where there are some crews or the big systems are already started moving out. And water cities like Kerala, I already told, backwater they are using for small transport. Even in Jammu Kashmir, they are using for a general daily market as a market on the water, floating market. So that could be very good alternatives. But still, we need to achieve water sensitive cities, which are still not on our complete picture of Indian plateau. There is not any water sensitive cities we can depict. And to reach water circular city, still it is not there. But the government start thinking on this. We are trying to make smart cities which are mostly based on water circular economies. So mainly water is nothing but a service delivery function. So we need to go supplying the hydraulics, separate sewerage systems for this. What do we need? We need to give for all water supply systems, the cities. We need to understand it needs basically services. There where water is required is it works on hydraulic principles. Whereas all the cities which are mainly all major metro cities or major towns which are producing sewerage, they need a separate sewerage system and treatment plants. But there are very few again. And there are some urban main towns, big cities which are connected to the drainage channels. Whereas there are some cities which are using this recycled water or river channels or water bodies for by making a water pollution management for transport systems also. And on the other hand, there are some cities we are doing using this waterways by protecting as a service delivery function like Kerala or some Jammu Kashmir, and some water sensitivity, we need to adapt some multifunction infrastructure and urban design. Recently, JNRUM and Urban Development MOUD, Ministry of Urban Development, they have started in building, including some adaptive multifunction infrastructures and urban design so as to make the cities water sensitive and increasing or asking consultants, the architects and the designers to make a design so that our waste externalities will keep the resources in use and enhancing the natural capital. All these three principles will be in place so as to make our cities water circular based economies. Slides are getting changed, Devanshi ma'am?
Sir, it is on genesis of cities and water now.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, so what I told you, water has been used since beginning of the era of the human development. So basically, this water uses as a within a basin as well as within the boundaries. There are mainly two types of water users we can divide in this CE process: consumptive users and non-consumptive users. Where in consumptive users, complete water is being used and no water is being get generated or recharged or can be recycled or can be regenerated. Whereas the complete water is being used, 100% water or maximum water has been used and very negligible water can be produced. So those kind of process operations or systems are called as consumptive processes. For example, thermal power plants where we are using huge water boilers and water cooling towers where a lot of water has been get evaporated and a very minimal amount of water has been get generated to recycle or reuse. Whereas an open drainage farm field agriculture process where agriculture people or the farmers are using water in a channel, a flooding system where a lot of water has been flooded in the agriculture and all that water has been get evaporated only where minimal amount of water is get drained into the topsoil to the root plant system for its development. Whereas majority of the water, more than 80-90% of the water is get evaporated in the atmosphere and it is of no use and it is not coming to the natural resource back. So that is a consumptive process, a consumptive uses kind of processes or operations. So to avoid that, there are some other, but that we cannot do that remove those consumptive uses type of processes immediately in Indian scenario in today. But we are already trying to approach those type of development to consumptive users to non-consumptive type of users, the processes or the operations would be same. For example, agriculture field, we cannot survive without food. We need a huge amount of agriculture crops. So that has to be increased by using drip irrigation or putting the water, and the overflooded water can be get channelized and get recharged the groundwater by putting some recharge mechanism. All the water what we are using in the buildings, towns, or big industries, that has to be, after use, it has to be recollected and recharged into the natural groundwater or the basin instead of getting waste. So these are the two different kind of dimensions we need to understand. So in this, water is used in mainly three kind of dimensions. It works as a where water is used as a service provider. It works as a carrier. It is also works as a source of energy. These are the already known terms to all of you. Source of energy means kinetic, thermal, and biothermal. These are the various kind of energy it carries, which we can tap it by using in different ways. Through thermal power plants, through huge waterfalls, we can generate hydel power, and biothermal, by using anaerobic systems, we can generate biogas methanation processes. Whereas we can use this as a service provider, which carries which gives us as consumptive use, as I already told you, like produce product for the agricultural purpose, for the thermal power plant, or production of some chemicals, dyes, drugs, pharmaceuticals. They are being used in the process or production of some pollutions, anything which is being used as a component that becomes that is a part of the service. Without that, we cannot give the overall production. So third is going to be the carrier. In that case, it carries lot of, for example, wastewater channel. The wastewater channel is a nothing but carrying a waste of various waste from one end to another end, but we cannot we cannot flush out or drain our waste from our home where it is being generated to a disposal site. So it works as a carrier, where after getting the flush from the urinal or from the our night soils, it has been carried from one end to another end through water channels. But they also works as a carrier of nutrients, chemicals, minerals. In other terms, in terms of agriculture, we flood or we transport our pesticides, our fertilizers through water channels. We transport our chemicals in oil and gas pipelines to maintain the temperature as a carrier. So these are work also as a carrier. So if in terms of thought process, there are mainly two main processes: circular economic thinking and non-circular economic thinking. If you don't follow, what will going to happen? For example, circular economic thinking, in that terms, we use a fresh water. At present, this is the situation what India is going through. We are using fresh water from the resources, various resources from natural flows, and divert it for various purposes. Either we use it for storage, for dam, or for our regular routine purposes. And we get it used, and after using it, just be outflow. We discard it as effluent from our home. So it is not going back to the channel of natural. Even if it is reaching, it is reaching in a not perfect clean water system, whereas it is getting polluting the natural resource system. So instead, we are not only consuming, we are even degrading our environment. So complete water bodies are getting contaminated and polluted. So it is a complete against or contrast to the circular economy thought process. But what would be the process of thinking as circular economy CE process, where both the things are being managed? We need to manage when moment, as said in the initially, प्रकृति रक्षति रक्षता. अगर हम प्रकृति की रक्षा करेंगे, प्रकृति will going to save us. Environment is going to in return save us indirectly or directly even. So moment after use, what if we start discarding, we can recycle that water and reuse it for any other purpose instead of putting directly into the natural river systems or water bodies. So it is get recharged, reused, and again, moment we replenish that water through infiltration or ponds or aquifers or deep groundwater recharges, it will increase the groundwater. It will maintain the natural pond systems, water systems, aquifers, and again we can use it again and again and again. So the economy will be get sustained continuously for longer time. That is the process or the thought process has to be adopted for circular economy. So what are the main resources and the principles based on that? These are the few examples where we can reduce. These are the various water services where water can be avoided, reduced, or recycled or replenished. Devanshi, the slide is getting changed.
Sir, it's on opportunities.
Yeah. So in, for example, now the corona is going on. There are some rule or some criteria has been told by WHO as well as by ICMR and the government of India to keep on clean your hands by washing with the soap. But it is not possible and it is not feasible to keep on using several million liters of water continuously. If we start only adopting hand wash continuously. So we can imagine how big billion liters of water will be get wasted just in an hour. So it is a very good advantage. We are having what a sanitizer, hand sanitizer, which is replaced a water where we can avoid it. So it is we can avoid by using hand sanitizer. Similarly, the flush management systems, those who are already aware of green building concepts, they know half flush, full flush. After in urinals, there are some urinals are nowadays coming where water demand is get reduced or no water urinals. Specifically, you must have been saw in multiplexes or in big buildings or some corporate buildings or in airports. There are written it is non-water based urinals, right? How does it work then? So it was basically made on by using some chemicals and very little amount of water is been used initially or after end of the session after the use. So it reduces the water where a lot of water has been get drained out. And again after we cannot avoid using the water. So after using the water, most of the times, more than 80 to 90% times, the water can be recycled in specifically it can be used as an internal or external purposes, but it can be used mainly in industries, in townships, in big area developments or big airports or all such kind of operational locations. So that recycle can be done and that can reduce the water demand in short, and it will save the economy as well as it will keep on rotating the economy also. We will also go across with few examples where people are earning $1 billion of by selling the wastewater. ने खराब पानी बेच के लोग ने अरबों रुपए कमा रहे हैं. There are some examples, not very far sitting in the outside the India, whereas there are best examples already government of India had laid down and set those examples in India itself. We will come on to that also. And after recycling water, if we cannot reuse it, complete water, we can replenish or recharge our aquifers by putting directly into the groundwater or by making a VODA zone. I hope a lot of our faculties must be knowing or the participants how the VODA zone is there. Like we make small structures, the water is get recharged slowly and get percolated in the ground after usage even, and the basin and that water is get water recharge in the aquifer. So these are the lot of opportunities. So as we already understood, there are a lot of opportunities are available. So what is the step has to be taken? So there should be some standard procedure, has to be standard operating procedure has to be laid down. Some framework has to be laid out to make, regenerate and grow. Again by produce, regenerate and again grow. So this economy will be continuous. So it will be urban bioloop we have to create where all the process and the systems will be energy positive, where no energy positive means energy is consumed and regenerated from the after use, right? Which is a very erratic kind of thought process कि ये कैसे possible है? आपने bulb use किया and energy is generated, and energy is not only consumed but also generated. But the generated energy can also be reused again and reused again. So this kind of process is possible by putting a thought process of circular economy. So for that, we can make this small framework. It is not very confirmed, but we can start thinking on this. All the thinkers and the faculties, those who are in this meeting, in this discussion, they can also think and start producing, start thinking on this dais. What could be the best framework for circular economy in terms of water environment for India in this particular era, so that we can generate and we can propound this idea of circular economy in terms of water to the government. Madam, I am audible and slide is get displayed now? Circular economy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there are main frameworks on which what I thought of, or generally people are thinking nowadays. The framework of CE, it should be scalable and approach. The approach should be scalable and it should be applicable. It should be easy to apply. ऐसा ना हो कि बहुत ऐसे बहुत जटिल बड़ी complex we prepare it and it's unable to apply it, and or sometimes people or scientists, as I'm when started my journey from a level of project scientist, I know there are a lot of fundamental sciences are going on, lot of different researchers, models, designs are keep on going, but ultimately it all where it goes in vain, because उसका ultimately scale up नहीं हो पाता है वो, due to whatever the reason. I don't want to go into that deep, but we should think whatever the process or the operations or systems we are designing, they should be scalable and it should be applicable on ground. That should be thought in terms of Indian economy and Indian era. इस Indian system में हमको सोचना जरूरी है आज. Second, whatever the building, industrial estates, district, city, whatever utility basins, all these main these utilities or these systems and the operations has to think very clearly where they can adopt the circular economy philosophy in their overall process, in their operations day to day, so that the minimization of waste and natural capital resource can be enhanced and reducing the environmental impact, so that it can regenerate the circular economy continuously, and it should be not man based, whereas it should be system based, and if it is system to system based, it will not get derailed very easily, and there should be a framework after applying and adopting this adopted by various cities, multi water utilities, basins, or buildings, infrastructure, industrial estates, or industrial cities. There should be some framework. What is its some evaluation process? What are the we able to identify? What are the gaps? How it is performing? What is the output? And what are the things we can? What are the different more opportunities we can generate out of that end of the process, or whether it is working or not? So, and by doing that evaluation, established all that process of CE, the CE will get matured, it will be get enhanced, it will be get extrapolated in terms of material, water, in terms of society, in terms of economics, environment and energy. So assessment can be done on a scale of whether CE is after application of CE philosophy, whether there is any action in process, in system, any change or not. We should see that whether applying this after applying this there should be an incremental increase in strategic or informative transformative changes happening or not. Those things we need to understand. So in short, There are 6 thematic areas that interface with the water systems in any organization or any systems. This main 6 perspective has to be thought or to be taken into consideration for making a circular CE model matured and extrapolate and develop continuously. And we need to identify what is the available knowledge at present, what is the awareness and capability within the organization where we can apply on various perspective of energy, material, water economics or environment, all in awareness in terms of different people. So, in short, a holistic view of circular economy is presented here in terms of municipal water wastewater systems. So, it is the pictures. I hope it's very clear. Now we will see what are the various opportunities are available. Starting from our home, the municipal water systems. There are huge opportunities where we can reduce our water and we can extract energy out of that, and we can generate some power through biomethanation. We can use the recycled water for agriculture purpose. We can also use in the industries. I want to give one new thought in this municipal wastewater system. Sinha sir, this opportunity slide is appearing now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I want to give a new thought. This is a very innovative thought. We are thinking. I am also associated with Earth Foundation. Earth Foundation stands for Earth E8RTH, Environment, Agriculture, Research and Technology House. So this Earth Foundation is putting a new idea or concept to the India now or to the world. Let's stop चार्जिंग वाटर सप्लाई टैक्स. पानी के ऊपर जो हम लोग बिल भरते हैं वो टैक्स गवर्नमेंट पानी जो पीने का देती है, लेट्स मेक इट फ्री टू ऑल द पीपल. पीने का पानी फ्री कर दे. व्हाट डू यू थिंक हाउ इट विल बी, हाउ दिस गुड आइडिया विल बी गुड? द पीपल विल थिंक या फिर देन हाउ द सिस्टम विल वर्क, हाउ गवर्नमेंट विल पुट सो मच ऑफ अमाउंट फ्रॉम वेयर दे विल गेट द मनी फ्रॉम. बट I will say, let's make drinking water supply or fresh water supply to the domestic people free, but let's charge on or taking a cess, apply the cess on wastewater what they're applying or they're generating. जो वो लोग मैला पानी generate कर रहे हैं, let's start putting a cess or taxes on the wastewater instead of charging the taxes on the fresh water. Let's, you can human the water natural resources is nothing but a basic requirement or basic need of the human or the life which cannot be charged. When God has given natural water resources free of cost, how anyone can charge that? So we cannot charge we cannot charge a natural water system which has been supplied. Only the charge should be of supply, not of the water. Government or the any system organizations keep on telling, बोलती है कि हम केवल पानी का चार्ज नहीं ले रहे, हम लोग आपको सप्लाई का चार्ज ले रहे. बट नो, इट इज नॉट सो. दे आर टेकिंग अ ह्यूज लॉट ऑफ कॉस्ट. लेट्स मेक इट कंप्लीटली नल, राइट? ओनली वन टाइम इंस्टॉलेशन चार्जेस कैन बी टेकन, बट अदरवाइज लाइफ टाइम सप्लाई taxes can be make it null. Whereas a taxes on discharges or the effluent what we are generating from our home or from our residences has to be charged by metered manner. हम जितना मैला पानी जनरेट करेंगे, जितना एफ्लुएंट जनरेट करेंगे, that has to be charged. Why? Government has a policy. Ministry of Environment and Forest Climate Change has a policy. What? In India, a principle is polluters pay policy. क्या है? Polluters pay. Those who will pollute, he has to or she has to pay. जो मैल जनरेट करेगा, जो पोल्यूशन करेगा, उसको उसका पे करना है. So we should be charged for what? For polluting a system, right? तो वो जो ऑपरेशन हम कर रहे हैं उसका चार्ज दे. So indirectly what will happen? People will start wasting a water. उससे exactly impact कहाँ आएगा? जो लोग नल खुला रख देते हैं, वो लोगों को पता लगा कि अभी नल खुला होकर जब पानी सिस्टम के थ्रू बाहर जाने वाला है, it will get metered. So they will not just waste water. So indirectly the water consumption is reduced at source. Water consumption at source is get reduced. Indirectly, on the other hand, fresh water demand, production, treatment and supply is get reduced. On third, energy input is also get pumped for the pumping and for maintenance is again get reduced. And third, opportunities will also get generated. उससे बहुत सारा job employment generate होगा. नया technology for wastewater treatment, its maintenance will be getting enhanced because maintenance of wastewater system is much higher. उसकी cost wastewater treatment करने की जो होती है, wastewater को treat करने की ज़्यादा होती है compared to fresh water. I hope there are a lot of people in this attendees in this meeting. They must be very much aware कि 1 लीटर फ्रेश वाटर को फॉर एग्जांपल बनाने के लिए, पीने के पानी बनाने के लिए नदी से उठाया फ्रेश वाटर नेचुरल रिसोर्स से उठाया हुआ बनाने के लिए it takes 5 to 7 rupees, whereas to treat a same wastewater which has been generated from our home from any utilities, it requires more than 17 to 30 rupees per liter. Then you can understand कितना huge amount हम लोग waste कर रहे हैं. So moment that cost will start on our head, the people, the overall impact and the cycle will be get reversed. The impact will be get reduced. So the circular economic thought process will be get imbibed and applied forcefully on our each individual and can be used. So we can do this, but there are already, but before applying this, what is the status we should also know. For example, waste का status अगर बात किया जाए, solid waste management का और liquid waste management का, we are generating per capita waste in India around 1.3 per annum, right? With urban population increasing, हमारा जो population बढ़ रहा है 3 to 3.5% per annum हम लोग population बढ़ाए जा रहे हैं हमारा, which is very dangerous. And similarly, in that ratio, increase in population, we are increasing our waste generation annually around 5%. ये पुराना data है. This is now enhanced recently because due to the COVID, lot of waste is being generated by adding the biomedical waste also. Crude dumping of waste on almost all the cities, on all the roads. आप कहीं पे भी निकल जाइए, कहीं नाले का पानी बह रहा है, ओवरफ्लो हो रहा है, कचरे की कूड़ा का ढेर पड़ा हुआ है. There are on very small transfer in name transfer stations. ट्रांसफर स्टेशन के नाम पे वो क्या डंप किया जा रहा है किसी कोने में एंड इस कोने से उस कोने में, बट इट इज नॉट बीन गेट रिसाइकल्ड और कंप्लीटली डिस्पोज्ड ऑफ, एंड ड्यू टू विच पर कैपिटा वेस्ट जनरेशन व्हाट हैज बीन डिजाइंड इन इंडिया इट इज वेरी ह्यूज. बहुत बड़ी स्केल है. 200 ग्राम से 600 ग्राम, इट इज नॉट इंक्रीज टू 1000 ग्राम ऑल्सो इन सुपर स्मार्ट सिटीज. बट स्मार्ट सिटी कॉन्सेप्ट there is going to fail if it is not going to apply circular economy. So what are the challenges we are now facing in this case? So main challenge is segregation. हम अपने घर से जो भी लोग हैं हम लोग कचरा उठाते हैं without thinking a second thought. We include sanitary diapers, napkin, paper, plastic, everything in one. Even some waste, dal, sabji, everything in one packet, and plastic packet that too, non-degradable, and throw it in the collector. So non-segregation is a huge big problem. And second, there is no institutional mechanism or technical expertise to how to remediate, how to control this segregation. And secondly, unwillingness of the ULBs. But the ULBs force करना चाहती है, लेकिन people as a people, मैं नहीं चाहता हूँ कि मैं उसको कचरा segregate करके दूँ. क्यों नहीं चाहता हूँ मुझे नहीं पता है. Maybe due to the management information system या मेरे को control नहीं है, मेरा awareness नहीं है. Maybe there are a lot of different reasons. So for that we need to include the community. हमको community को involve करना पड़ेगा to increase this awareness and get the basic funda of segregation, non-segregation at source. तो वो problem solve हो जाएगा. So and again there is a huge problem also exists, lack of funds. Even if the ULB wants to apply these CE principles or segregate or apply any new technology or innovation on their field, they don't have much funds to do all this exercise. So this is the current scenario of overall India. Let's say from your home, the water is wastewater is get generated. It is go to the ETP or STP. All the waste is get treated and go to the landfill. And if it is, sometimes we are now producing some using biodigesters, some power also, and after putting recycling the water, we are putting the oxygen for. This is what the current scenario in some places, but in most of the cases in urban towns, this is the scenario. This is the major waste composition which has been published by manual by CPCB. Major 43% huge contribution is of the food waste, which are we are wasting on the roads across the overall waste, and so followed by the glass and the wood chips, cardboards. Means most of the things can be recycled. So total generated waste is like 62 metric ton per day, out of which only 42 metric ton per day is been get collected and reached to the appropriate location, whereas remaining all goes somewhere. Means almost करीब 20%, 25% waste is goes to somewhere which we don't know. It means it is just like on somewhere. We are thinking or we are proposing a 5-lane system as per the policy, so as to apply the CE principle. So there are a lot of regulatory requirements and legal policies which are already in place. वहाँ पे बहुत से legal frameworks है. There are a lot of constitution has made up arrangements to control, mitigate, and prevent the various pollutions in terms of water, solid waste, all type of waste, and environment. But how to increase this? There should be some management system to make the management system of waste. It should be robust. It should have a maximum of resource recovery, and that is supporting circular economy, and provide a little impact on the city at the present condition. So whatever the new fundamental operation processes we are going to adopt, it should be economically viable and acceptable. These are the present status. Everyone knows how the collection and transportation is happening in current state situation. This is the hierarchy we are following in as a old thought of school, what we adopted now. We need to change to CE. We are adopting based on CE, refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So we need to adopt all this. This is, I think everyone is very much aware of this. We are just producing this waste and dumping without segregation. This is the method what we are transporting all our waste without thinking. We are transporting not only the waste, but we are dumping a black gold or brown gold into the earth. हम लोग सोना ही कचरे में फेंक रहे हैं. But what is the solution? इसके लिए क्या चाहिए हमको? What is actually required? What India is looking for? So after a lot of discussion, since last 1 decade I am working on this. So after going through various places, various dump places, as I am also handling a lot of NGT projects through some of the clients. So we understood that these are the things which needs to be there on place. At present, we are doing completely brown kind of wastewater treatment system. Instead, we want it should be green. A circular economy reduces the consumption of the material, and it reutilizes the water by recovering the new products like cellulose, plastics, biorefineries, some biogas. So, and it will recharge that the same system again and again, वो उसी में से अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट्स निकालता है. इट जस्ट रिमूव द वाटर फ्रॉम दैट प्रोसेस. सो मोमेंट आपने वेस्ट वाटर में से पानी H2O अलग कर दिया, whatever it remains, most of the components can be reused. Either it is a cellulose, it can, if it is a plastic waste, it can be used as a plastic, and if it is a organic waste, it can be used as a plastic, fueling the circular economy with reused water. So this is the one of the big example which has been adopted in West Basin of California, where they are already adopted the CE, and they are making the one CE principle. This is one of the very best example. this is a Baltimore pond where it's a recreation pond basically. All the wastewater has been recycled and put it and stored in this pond, which is continuously been cleaned by using a solar harvesting. This is actually what are the picture you can see. This is the visit picture where the water is being cleaned by removing the suspended material by this machine. We can produce lot of cellulose, and I don't want to explain what is the use of cellulose. How cellulose is so much useful. Without cellulose, none of our official or academicians can survive, right? So this is a big opportunity. So we can optimize our water use and the energy use also. We can extract generally the nutrients out of this. So there are a lot of nutrients involved in this. Some we can recover substitutive material by purifying the suburban or urban wastewater. It has a huge potential which is very much required for agriculture purpose. So we
Sir,
can
sorry for interrupt, sir. Sir, slide is on opportunity.
Okay. Now?
No, sir, not changed.
Abhi?
No, sir, no. Sir, it's still on opportunity.
You have, Mr. Sinha, you have control on your side, I think. Can you change?
So we will have to unshare your side.
Okay.
Can we do that, sir?
Yeah, please. मीटिंग कितने बजे चलो होगी थी ना 1-10 मिनट का होगी
Sir, is this the slide? Sir, is this the correct slide?
Next. 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 Slide number 41. Wait. Yes, just nutrient recovery. Yeah, you can make full screen from tools or from view. व्यू में जाके वो फुल स्क्रीन लगता है। दैट ड्रॉप डाउन यू कैन सी, उसके बगल में आउटसाइड वो प्लस साइन जो उसके बगल में ड्रॉप डाउन दिख रहा है राइट साइड में, और इस तरफ नॉट दिस साइड, सेम साइड, adding one more tab, add tab के बगल में जो ड्रॉप डाउन दिख रहा है there,
So this is in PDF, so that's the maximum which we can do here.
awesome. Okay. Okay, I can share you from here also, no problem again.
Sir, is it clearer
Can I share?
now? Yes, sir. You can share that.
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah. So shall I continue or shall I share?
Sir, if it's changing, then it's fine. You can share with at your end.
Sorry?
It was not changing, sir. That's why we had to share it from our end. If it's changing at your end, then no problem. You can share it.
Yeah, I'll just try again. Is it not visible? Mrs. Sinha?
Yes, sir. The slide's name is Accelerating the Circular Economy in the Water Sector.
Yeah. Yeah. So coming back to the same topic, so we need a green economy, green based on circular economy, where landfill will be not required. If you remember, almost 3 decades back, you won't find any landfill concept that specifically in India anywhere. But due to the huge industrialization and non-thought process of any circular economy, lot of landfills came into existence, and there you can find a lot of huge heaps of waste management places and waste disposal sites with huge heaps of waste. Some wastewater treatment units, CETPs across all the places. But it is sometimes it is working, sometimes it's not even working. So we need to think about this. Hope it's not changing now.
No, sir, not changing. Sir, is on slide number 39.
It changed now. Sir.
It's changed now, sir.
Yeah. So fueling circular economy with reused water. For example, the best example in the West Basin of California, where they are using recycled water for various multiple purpose. Except drinking water, they are using almost all the places, starting from park golf parks, buildings, for various purposes. They all everywhere they are using for only recycled water mainly, and there are hardly any water which has been or natural resource is been get depleting. So this is another example of Baltimore where this is a machine which has been used for cleaning a recreational pond by using a solar-based cleaning machine in the recreation pond, which is again filled with the recycled water, right? Another example, because as everyone very much aware, the wastewater carries lot of cellulose with itself. So in terms, the cellulose is very much useful for manufacturing and production of paper and all other different materials. So it is a very much important ingredient present in our wastewater, which can be extracted by just removing H2O. आपने पानी का H2O water molecule अलग कर दिया, remaining part is mainly of cellulose, some other impurities which can be removed very easily, right? So it can a lot of opportunity for optimization of water reuse and energy, whereas also it can going to produce a lot of nutrients which can be used for multi-purpose. Whereas by continuous process of treatment of sludge, we can produce huge quantity of biogas which can be produced by using this energy. So utilization of byproduct में आपने वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट तो किया, तो आफ्टर वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट वॉट एवर द स्लज हैज बीन जनरेटेड, it can be used for thermal hydrolysis, which will going to produce a biogas, and using that biogas we can reuse it for pumping and all other processes. So that waste byproduct is being used here as an energy purpose, whereas this after producing this sludge there is some micronutrient has been left out. Sinha, I think slide has been getting changed slowly.
Yes, sir. It is on slide number 43.
Yeah, good. So based on that, that sludge, whatever has been generated, it has, after removing the biogases, the water, H2O, and some other cellulose, the remaining nutrients which can be recovered as a substitute after some purification processes and can be used for various agricultural purpose as a high best material for nutrients. So we can, these are the opportunities in reusing the water and optimization of the energy and extracting the energy again from the same purpose. Otherwise, to generate such kind of micronutrients, we need to produce or establish a new complete industry for production of such kind of process. Or in some process, we can directly use our grey water in our home by mostly by removing a suspended solid in our farm field or in our golf area, where a lot of huge water of quantity has been used. As I was telling you, discussing multi-million rupees are getting by using the wastewater in our Bhandewadi sewage water treatment plant, where 130 ml fresh water demand has been get reduced. All the wastewater, whatever has been generated in the city, is been recycled and sold out to nearby plant, out of which one plant is almost paying, like it is selling to 4 to 5 different power plants. So one plant which has been paying already power plant around 15 crores of per annum to the this water ETP to Nagpur Mahanagarpalika, Nagpur Municipal Corporation. Why? For buying this wastewater, recycled wastewater. And what after using this wastewater, whatever sludge has been generated, it can be used for making a small briquette. Even some segregated waste is there. Those can also, like cardboard, plastics, and some paper. It can be used as a briquette or some RDF, refuse derived fuel, for the cement factories or some power plants. So similarly, we can generate compost and various articles, various material, which are very much useful for our purpose. For this, this foundation also one invented one unit, which is named as Suvidha. Mainly these have been given to various NGOs, various temples, or wherever such organic waste has been generated in huge quantity. They can add this organic or solid waste in this, and it converts into compost directly, and without adding any additional micronutrients, because this composter is such a design, it do not use any energy for either thermal temperature or for humidity, whereas it just adds some micronutrients which enhances the composting process much faster. After decomposition process has been started, it is added in the windrows if it is in huge quantity, and it is get converted into a organic compost immediately in a 2 to 3 weeks, and it can be used as a best fertilizer or compost anywhere wherever it is required. So in that term, we need to think what are the other challenges we are going to face if we don't think of circular economy in terms of waste and wastewater. So what would be the problem? What would be the problem we are going to face if we don't think of life cycle assessment, of life cycle studies we don't consider in our operation or in our systems? What are the challenges we are going to face? So mainly specifically in terms of India. So need of the hour for our country is Ritesh, is it getting changed?
Sir, it is on slide number 49.
Yeah, good. So the major क्या होगा अगर हमने ये नहीं किया? So what would be the problem? The problem would be we are going to face this. अभी जो flood आ रहा है पानी का, there would be a flood of electronic waste, plastic waste, some such kind of waste which we cannot tolerate. हम लोग शायद उसको tolerate नहीं कर पाएंगे, and it is going to make our life miserable. So to avoid all this, we should think of adding new innovations. अभी what are the new innovations or trends to be set in India? जो problems what I told you, the challenges what we are facing, the main problems are segregation, wastewater being generated and not recycled, and we cannot unable to use at home due to various purpose. So these are the various some ideas what I am trying to put forward here. Segregation के लिए we need to start working immediately. At present in India there is no processing facility available which has a complete segregation unit on its own, which is using artificial intelligence. जहाँ पे AI का इस्तेमाल हो रहा हो ऐसा कहीं possible नहीं है और कहीं use नहीं हो रहा है. This is a big area of platform or challenge is trending which we need to close it from our end. तो हमको ऐसे कुछ artificial intelligence based कुछ units होना चाहिए कि नॉन सेग्रीगेटेड वेस्ट अगर हमारे कन्वेयर पे आता है तो वी कैन बाय यूजिंग AI टेक्नोलॉजी इट शुड एबल टू सेंस इट एंड इट शुड एबल टू पिक द वेरियस काइंड ऑफ वेस्ट. प्लास्टिक ऑटोमेटिकली अलग हो जाए उसमें से. इट शुड एबल टू पिक द ग्लास, इट शुड एबल टू पिक द ऑल द वेस्ट आइटम एंड दैट टू robotically, and it could be get it will leave only single type of waste which will be conveyed further, and it can be processed more easily, and it will enhance the circular economy. So small robotics machines which can be made of, which can travel in and out of the heaps of the waste. छोटे से robotics which will go across the heap, and it will try to extract the. It will make a biomining more easy. Biomining, you must be knowing a very good. It's a upcoming concept where biomining is facing a challenge of segregation again, where legacy waste is been get dumped across the places, and segregation is become a huge challenge. So where such kind of small robotics can be applied. A big belly, it is a concept where huge quantity of waste, हम लोग अपना वेस्ट अपने घर के बाहर रखे हुए कॉमन वेस्ट का जो बड़ा सा वो व्हाट यू से जो डंपर या कैंपर रखा होता है, ट्रॉली रखी होती है, हम उसमें डाल देते हैं, और आफ्टर अ सर्टेन टाइम यानी almost by afternoon it becomes full and it start overflowing. हम वेस्ट डालते हैं उसमें ओवरफ्लो होकर बाहर गिरने लगता है. So we need a concept of big belly where we moment हम वेस्ट डालते हैं it compresses it, it should means but it should be compressed, segregated, sorry, सेग्रीगेटेड वेस्ट होना चाहिए जो जाते ही उसको कॉम्प्रेस होकर उसका वॉल्यूम 1/4 या 1/10 हो जाता है. सो इट विल रिड्यूस द प्लेस and it is easy to handle further. And there are some machines which can generate, for example, if I am living in a society and I am attending a college, मैं एक कॉलेज में पढ़ाने जाता हूँ and I cannot wait for जो गाड़ी आती है कचरे की, I cannot add that waste from my home every day, but और कचरे वाला उठा कर लेके नहीं आता है. तो in that terms there should be waste automized machines or bins which will travel on getting some automatic information using IoT, Internet of Things, which can be applied across the city. This is the concept recently we had proposed towards smart cities in various places like in Rajkot, Nagpur, in Ahmedabad. In various smart cities we are trying to insist various commissioners and municipal corporations to adopt this IoT based platform where which is a very innovative kind of a platform जहाँ पे डॉक्टर देवांशी ने या डॉक्टर मुदलियार ने या मिस्टर सिन्हा ने अपने घर से वेस्ट जनरेट करने के बाद अगर डिस्पोज किया तो वो प्रॉपरली डिस्पोज हुआ या नहीं हुआ, आई डोंट नो, मुझे पता नहीं चलता. मैंने अपना वेस्ट फेंकने के बाद वो कहाँ गया भाई. तो आई शुड गेट अ कंप्लीट एंड टू एंड प्रोसेस क्लोज लूप. तो जहाँ से निकला all this waste is get generated, is been get carried in the vehicle which is been tracked in the GPS system. Moment the waste is been added in the machine or in the vehicle, you get a SMS, your waste has been controlled and collected. So and so type of waste यानी प्लास्टिक वेस्ट है, ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट है, वो यही इतने क्वांटिटी का कलेक्ट हो गया, वो डिस्पोज हो गया और इट इज बिन रीच टू अ पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन ऑफ वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट फैसिलिटी. Now it has been processed and it is converted to a product and you get some redeem the points which you can use it for your tax saving or some other purpose. So this is going to give you economics. अगर मुझे कहीं, if someone tell me tomorrow, if I give all the waste or wastewater to a municipal corporation, they will in turn they will give me some cash benefit. I will make sure all that waste I won't put it on the road, instead I will save it and put it in the dustbin and I will get the money back. So I will make sure no waste is on the road. So सारा का सारा waste will get converted, water and wastewater, into a money in a form of cash. So circular economy will be keep on in loops, so we can enhance our reproducibility and our empower our country in that term. So we need a clean India, clean earth and complete universe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do the participants have any doubts or if they would like to interact with Dr. Mudliar, sir? You can post in the chat box or you can come online. So that was a very informative presentation and a lot of aspects that need to be touched today, specifically regarding circular economic development of water resources. That's a very important agenda to be looked at because the wastewater that is generated requires a lot of resources to get purified. So that was a major topic of discussion by Dr. Mudliar, sir. A new concept of circular economy of water resources was introduced to us. We are very thankful to you, sir, on behalf of Civil Engineering Department at IPS Academy, Institute of Engineering and Sciences, Indore, for devoting your views and knowledge regarding the topic. Thank you so much for taking out time. And if the students have or participants have any questions, we'll get in touch with you with the email.
Yeah, one I will insist. any participant who wants to go and continue to work for such kind of innovations, we will definitely try to help. Our foundation will try to assist in that case in various terms. Please definitely, my mail is there with Dr. Devanshi ma'am. So you can share and let the people who want to work on this, because this is a very new approach which is highly, anyone is working across the India. So nation is very much is required, and there are a lot of funds available by Ministry of DST, Ministry of MOEF, as well as Ministry of Environment, as well as some department of various sciences. So definitely think about this. Specifically, the faculties, those who are working on artificial intelligence, robotics, we must think of this, because such kind of technology is very far from our country. अगर ये हमें आज आ जाता है, तो we will going to solve this problem in hardly in a year or two, right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And we would like to have you again at the next session that is scheduled in the November.
Yeah, thank you.
We hope to see you again, sir. Thank you, sir. We will be having a lunch break till 2 p.m. and we will be meeting again. So the participants are requested to come back by 2 p.m.